Here we go.
Yes.
Okay, you going out there?
Yes.
Let's go.
Can you share the slides?
Pardon?
Can you share
I
the
can't put a slide on. No, I don't know how to do it.
All right. Awesome. Ja, skal vi slukke, og så tænde lyset? Tænd lyset. Kan du tænde lyset ned? Hey Bob.
Greetings. 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 How are you today?
1 second, Bob. We will just put you on the loudspeaker so they can get you really through. Can you try again?
Greetings. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, listen, it's a pleasure to be with you today. You know, we're coming up to a new year, and I'm in the studio right now. I've been here for, about 5 hours now. I come in early. And I've been working on my plan for next year. I have found if we come in towards the end of the year, if we don't leave it until January 1st and then decide what to do, we can plan now and have it all ready. And then when you come in January 1st, you come in like a rocket. Winning is not difficult if you plan properly. But I have found out that the average individual leaves it all up to chance or luck, and it doesn't work that way. I was given this book. I've got it held together with an elastic here because it's all falling apart. But there, this is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I was given this book in 1961. I've just started my 59th year in studying it. And I study it every day. I just open it somewhere and read a bit. And you know, when I started, I was earning $4,000 a year. I was up to here in debt. I was not a happy guy. It seemed like everything was going in the wrong direction, but it always had. I was 26, and I had never enjoyed any kind of success. And I was never really happy. And I started to analyze, and I started to read this book and get the help of the man that gave it to me. I started to analyze my past, and I came to the conclusion I was an unhappy kid. And I just grew up and stayed that way. Now, I was born during a depression, and then very early in my life, the Second World War broke out. So everything was rationed. Things were not good generally. And I think I was blaming everything on that. But the man that gave me this, he said, he said, it doesn't matter what your past is. I had no formal education. I had no business experience. I was 26. And he said,
I didn't quite catch that.
My phone's talking back at me here. At any rate, he said, listen, what has happened in the past need have no bearing on the future. He said, if you can follow direction, you can have anything you want. I had to get him to repeat that because I didn't know what he meant. He said, if you can follow direction, you can have anything you want. Well, I didn't quite know what he meant. He said, listen, he said, success is about 5% strategy and it's 95% mindset. And he said, if you have the right mindset, you can do anything if you have proper direction. Now, I said the problem with most people is they ask their brother or their next door neighbor or their brother-in-law or their mother-in-law or somebody what they should do. They're asking people that really don't know. And he said, if you want to win, go to someone who's already winning. Go to someone who's doing what you would really like to do. And then do exactly what they tell you until you find out they're lying or they don't know what they're talking about. And I thought, well, that made sense. And he said, if you do that, you can have anything you want. Now, I really didn't believe I could have anything I wanted, but I believed he believed it. And I decided I was going to do exactly what he told me until like he said, until I found out he was lying or he didn't know what he was talking about. Now, the man never did lie to me, and he really did know what he was talking about. And you know, in a relatively short period of time, my income went way up. I went from earning $4,000 a year to $14,500 a month in a year. In fact, it was in less than a year. So if you annualize that, that turned into around $175,000 a year, from $4,000 to $175,000. And I did it cleaning floors. He said, it doesn't matter what you're doing. He said, what matters is how you do it. Well, you know, I started cleaning floors in Toronto. I ended up cleaning floors in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and London, England. And everything in my life started to change. And it continued for quite a while. And I was earning all kinds of money, and I had become very irresponsible. I would just throw the money all over the place. I thought it doesn't matter what happens, I know where to get it. And one day, I would go down to the Playboy Club on Park Lane in London. It was right next door to the London Hilton. This is back in the 60s. And I'd play roulette. I didn't care if I lost. And I guess because I didn't, I usually won. But I thought one day, this is not being responsible. And that's when I started to, what happened? How come I changed? Why did my life change so dramatically? And to tell you the truth, I didn't know. I thought, well, I was reading this book, but a lot of people had read this book, and yet they weren't winning. I couldn't find anybody that could tell me why my life had changed. So I made up my mind I would figure it out, and I started to study. Seek and you will find is excellent advice. It took me 9.5 years. And when I got it figured out, all I wanted to do was teach it. And the real secret to winning is all locked up in awareness. We have to become more aware of who we are, what we're capable of doing. We have to be more aware of how to develop our own potential. And I have found it's constant spaced repetition of the right information. You never stop studying. You know, we don't think anything of stopping to eat 2, 3, maybe 4 times a day. In fact, we'll go out of our way to get something to eat. We spend money to buy the food. We think nothing of that. That's very common. You say, well, you have to eat. Otherwise, you'll die. Well, you know, I started to understand that you have to study or otherwise you'll die. There's a lot of people not studying and they're dying. When their heart stops beating, it's going to be a formality. They never really lived. See, there's a basic law of life that's create or disintegrate. Nothing stays where it is, nothing. We literally live in an ocean of motion. And this whole universe operates by law. Well, I decided that I was going to teach this. And then in the early 70s, I took a pen in my hand And I said, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world. Today, we operate in 110 countries. When I started, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I have come to the conclusion that if you will make a decision, a binding decision, that you'll spend a little bit of money and a little bit of time every day to study, your whole life will keep improving. Now, that's accepted when it comes to food and eating, because we live in a physical body, we live through our senses, and we correspond with the material universe. So that seems to make sense. But it doesn't make as much sense when it comes to study. We think we go to school, we finish school, and that's it. School teaches us nothing about living. You can go right through our educational system and know absolutely nothing about how to earn money, how to live a complete, full, successful life. There's all kinds of people with degrees coming right off their business card, and they can't find work. You see, you and I are the only creature on the planet that is totally disoriented in our environment. All the other little creatures are completely at home in their environment. I look outside my studio here and I see squirrels running around outside. They're right at home in their environment. They blend in. You and I are totally disoriented because we've been given the mental faculties to create our own environment. I've created this studio that I'm in right now. It's a mini television station. I can broadcast all over the world from here. Now, I'm not doing that right now. I'm just on my computer, the same as anybody can. But I've got 4 cameras in here, and I've got a setup where I can literally broadcast all over the world. I created that. I've created the lifestyle that I enjoy today because I'm able to. But I'm also aware of how to do it. And you see, if we don't study, we don't develop that awareness. Think of this for a moment. When a baby is born, a baby cannot tell the difference between the male and the female. A baby will be looking for a nipple, but they'll suck on their dad's thumb if they get a hold of it. They'll suck on anything looking for a nipple. They're not aware. They're not aware of the difference between the male and the female. A baby must develop the awareness of the difference. Now, we just take it for granted, but that awareness had to be developed. We have to develop an awareness of what makes us tick. How does our mind function? How is it that we can sit down with a pen and decree our own destiny? It's so basic and it's so simple, and yet hardly anybody understands it. With 2 months high school, I built a company that operates all over the world, earned millions of dollars. And I think earning money is very important. Money is the medium that we use to extend the service that we provide far beyond our own presence. Let me get something to show it to you here. This is a picture I have hanging on my wall. That's little children in Africa studying our material. We build a new school in Africa every 2.5 weeks. Thousands of children now are enjoying nutritious food, proper health care, clean water. They're going to school, they're getting an education. We have moved them right up to a college education. This is where there was no schools before. We were able to do that because we have some money. Money is very important. You'll find people say it isn't important. It's vitally important in the area that it's used. Now, is it as important as this or that or something else? Probably not. But we're capable of earning all we want to do the good work we want to do. And you can do work far beyond your own presence. I was 85 on my last birthday. I got as much energy as most people, 25. I have absolutely no thought of slowing down. I travel all over the world. I just came back from Germany, from Austria. I'm on my way to Florida and then over to Vegas and then down to Los Angeles. I think nothing of doing this. I see other people my age and they're increpid and they're sitting and they're doing nothing. But they didn't do anything their whole life, a lot of these people. We should sit down and ask ourselves, what do I really want to do? You see, I truly believe that every one of us is hardwired to do something very important with our life. The trick is to discover what that is. I'm obviously doing what I love. I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm teaching this information. I'm teaching people how to take control of their life and begin moving in the right direction. Now, I understand that Yepper and Casper are conducting a new program beyond the one you've just been in. And what it's going to do, it's just going to take you to a higher level of awareness. And you're going to become more aware than you already are. And as you do, you'll be able to enjoy more of life. I want to recommend that you make a decision right now. Don't ask anybody. Don't ask the person beside you or even your spouse, what do you think I should do? Ask no one what they think you should do. Go inside. Listen to your heart. What should I do? Treat this as an opportunity to make a major decision in your life that you're going to spend a part of every day and a part of every dollar developing your own wonderful mind. Now, I did that many years ago. It was the best move I ever made. And I've been able to help millions of people all over the world because I've done that. I think you can do that. They're teaching a program, they're titling it U Square. I know the book and I know the program. It's phenomenal. U square means that we can, if we square a number, we take 4, we'll multiply it by 4, we've squared it. Well, when you square U, you're taking your potential and multiplying it by your potential. You see, the answer is infinite. No one knows what you're capable of doing. So I want to recommend you continue studies. Don't let this be the end. Let it be the beginning. When they called and asked me if I would come on, I said, absolutely. And fortunately, because we have the mediums of education that we have today in communication, here I am, I can talk to you and you can talk to me. We weren't always able to do that. It's a level of awareness that enabled us to do that. Think of what you can do with these things. It's marvelous. I got a couple of them here. In fact, one was just talking to me. And we weren't always able to have those. I remember when we first started our cleaning business, I got the idea that I would put a supervisor out on the road and I'd get a car phone for him. We had to put ski racks on top of the car to mount an aerial for the phone. There was only about 4 or 5 channels in the whole city, so you could hardly ever use the phone, and when you did, it was all garbled static. Today, we have millions of people all over the world. They all have their own phone. You've probably got one in your pocket. That's because we've become more aware. As you become more aware, your life is going to change. I want to suggest that you never stop studying. Continue to study all of your life. Now, I think it'd be a good idea if any of you have some questions. I'll try and answer a few questions for you.
Let's first give Bob a hand.
Thank you.
Let's see where the nerves are, outside or inside. Who got a question from Mr. Bob Proctor? Yes, Søren?
Bob, I think I've been a lawyer for 13 years.
Yeah, maybe come up here. You can't hear us, right? Closer.
Have you got a mic? Put the microphone near the person who's talking.
Kan du komme herop? Det er nok det nemmeste. 1 second, Bob.
Sorry, Mr. Proctor, I hope you can hear me now.
I can.
Okay, thanks. I've been a lawyer for 13 years, but my C-type goal really is to become a full-time writer eventually. But what I've been thinking about recently is that I actually think I know how to get there. And that kind of makes it a B-type goal as far as I understand it. So for me, a C-type goal in that direction would be like a Nobel Prize or something. But I'm kind of, what's the difference between where my B-type goal is and my C-type goal? But because the C-type goal,
well, C-type,
I think the C-type goal is something you should be able to reach. Is that correct? It's not
the
only
C-type goal is something. First of all, you can reach any goal. We have to understand we have infinite potential. No one knows what we're capable of doing. A C-type goal is a goal that you have absolutely no idea how you're going to get there. You don't have the money, you don't have the resources, you don't have whatever it takes, but you know you're going to get there. The Wright brothers had a C-type goal when they decided they were going to take us and introduce us to a new kingdom of flight. I had the good fortune of working with Edmund Hillary. He was a beekeeper from Auckland, New Zealand. His goal was to stand on top of Mount Everest, right on top of the world. No one had ever done it. People had died trying. But he knew if he could see it in his mind, he could do it. That becomes a C-type goal. When I sat down and I wrote out, I'm going to have a company that operates all over the world, I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do it. And I didn't have the funds that I thought I would probably need. None of that matters. It's, do you want to? When you want to and you say, that's what I'm going to do, then you get on the frequency that it's operating on. See, nothing is created or destroyed. It's already here. So when you start thinking like that person, you mentally become it. The way starts to show itself.
Okay, thanks.
Your lawyer profession will go against you in this. You deal with precedent all the time. There is no precedent for this.
Thanks.
Good.
Right. Thanks you.
Thank you, Bob. No, come closer, please, so we can see you as well.
Okay, I'll get closer. Hi, Bob. It's an honor.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's an honor
Good.
to see you and meet you. My question is, if I have an idea and a C-type goal on something I want to sell, how can I make sure that somebody wants to buy it? You know, you want to sell cleaning in the beginning, but what I'm selling, maybe there's not a market for it. How do I know that? Even though I think it's a good idea, how can I then go with that?
Do you know the benefits of your idea?
Yes.
You don't sell the idea, you sell the benefits of the idea.
Yes.
People don't buy quarter-inch drills because they want quarter-inch drills. They buy quarter-inch drills because they want quarter-inch holes.
Yes, so
No, listen, if you've got a good idea, you can sell it. You sell the benefits of it. Don't wonder if you can, know you can.
Yeah.
And then go and do it.
You sound just like Jeppe.
Listen, you keep studying this and I'll sound like you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have our youngest team member here. She is 16,000.
Good.
We also have her mother in Thinking into Results.
Hi, Bob.
Greetings.
Um,
Hi.
so I don't know what to ask about. I'm a 16 years old girl, and in the future, I wanna have a brand and live in Dubai. And right now, I'm starting small. I'm starting to make a website where I wanna sell some things. And in the future, I wanna be like a big seller in the market and the youngest billionaire in the world. Yep.
Hey, listen, don't let your age have anything to do with it. Your age has nothing to do with it. Your mind and my mind, same mind. There's only one mind. We're all tapped into the same energy. So rather than think I'm only 16, think I've got a marvelous mind and I've got a great idea. And start to sell on the internet, but understand you can sell anything. You can become an affiliate where you don't even have to buy anything. You'll sell somebody else's material. They buy it, you sell it, and you can become an affiliate. Do you know anything about affiliate marketing?
We're gonna teach her, Bob.
Well, you can learn that, but the biggest thing, don't let your age enter the picture. See, if age enters the picture at 85, I should just go and sit down somewhere and I'm just about done. The truth is, I think I'm just beginning. I just got a lot of experience now. So don't let your age have anything to do with it. The very fact that you're here in this room studying this is a huge thing. Most 16-year-olds don't study this. And most adults think, well, you're only 16. Don't let anybody think that way. Say, I've got a marvelous mind, I've got an idea, and I'm going to execute it. And you start studying this the same as everybody else. Just keep studying it. And if you've got an idea in your mind, you can do it. See, if you can see it in here, you can do it. If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. Van Gogh, the great artist, one time was asked how he did such beautiful work. He said, I dream my painting, and then I paint my dream.
Yeah. I also feel like I don't fit in school, and sometimes I really just want to go to Dubai, like right now, but there's also something that's holding me back.
Well, there's probably a number of things holding you back, and you may not fit in school because you're thinking maybe way beyond everybody in the class. Now, what they're teaching is going to help you develop your mind. So tolerate it if that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
There's probably some things you know more than the teacher, because not too many schools are even studying what we're talking about here. Dubai's a beautiful place. I've been there. I have a friend that's there right now. It's a wonderful place, very prosperous area. Just keep the idea in your mind. You're going to end up there.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So, Bob, we all know you're going to live until you're 200, but much time do we have left for us today?
Well, just a few minutes. I've got to get on another call before long.
Last question. Yes.
Hi, Bob. My name's
Hi.
Hi. So I've been on this for about 6 months, I think, with Casper.
Right.
And I had struggled a big time with like the fear barrier, with the terror barrier. Yeah. So my goal is that I want to actually teach young kids about this stuff, but also about getting in touch with their body and get down to meditation and all this kind of stuff, so we can stop all this stress and anxiety and depression. Because I'm actually still kind of struggling with depression myself. And with this, I don't know if I'm good enough. So right now I have this terror barrier with how can I teach young people about this stuff if I cannot get myself out of the depression and telling them they can do anything they want, but I actually struggle with believing in myself.
Well, I'll tell you what to do. First of all, depression is caused. The cause of depression is doubt and worry.
Mhm.
The doubt and worry turn into anxiety or turn into fear. Fear turns into anxiety. The anxiety is suppressed, and that's where the depression comes from. Write out a statement about what you want to be now in the present tense. Start it by writing, I'm so happy and grateful now that. And this is a very positive statement about you. I am beautiful, I am competent, and I'm an effective teacher. Write that out and write it out maybe 100 times a day. Through the repetition of writing it, you're going to impress that upon your subconscious mind. And when you do, that's the way you're going to be. So it's the repetition of this right information that's going to transform your feeling about yourself. See, you know that you've got a lot going for you. First of all, you're studying this material. You're way ahead of the game when you start studying this. Write out a positive statement in the present tense of how you'd like to feel about you. And then write it out maybe 100 times a day. And it's the repetition of it over and over and over. And start teaching the kids now. You're capable of doing it. If you think you can do it. Don't worry about why you can't. Do what I'm telling you and then start teaching it anyway. And you're going to find it'll work very well. You're quite capable of doing that. The very fact you want to is all you have to know. If you want to do it, you've got the desire, you've got everything inside of you to do it. Just step out and make it happen. And don't stop studying yourself. Continue to study. Stay in the program with Jepper and Casper. Stay and study with these people. You're on the right track, and you know you are. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Right. Listen, I want to congratulate all of you for investing in yourself. Now, I want you to consider this should not stop here. This should never stop. Stay in this environment. Keep studying this. Get involved in the U Square. And study this every week. Don't stop it. Get together amongst yourself at other days in the week. But make a commitment right now that for the rest of your life you're going to study it. I picked up this in 1961. I'm still reading it. October the 21st, I'd finished 58 years of studying. I've started my 59th year. Make your mind up right now, just while I'm talking to you, just like that. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And you're going to find your life will just keep getting better. I want to congratulate Jepper and Casper for the great work they're doing. You know, we've got people scattered all over the world. They are doing a great job, and we're really proud of them. So I want to congratulate them, and I want to congratulate you for studying this. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share with you.
You too, Bob. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.